First, the gun was immersed in water. Then, it was rubbed in sand. After that, most guns either jammed or their shells wouldn't be ejected. But there was one gun that worked flawlessly. It was the world's most famous rifle, the AK-47. The man who invented this gun was Kalashnikov. He used to drive a tank, but in a battle, his tank was blown up by enemy fire and his arm was severely injured. While on his way to the hospital, he noticed that the soldiers' guns weren't working properly. Magazines would deteriorate in water, and springs would freeze in the cold. Such guns could be fatal. That's when the idea of making his own gun came to his mind. After recovering, he went to his old machine workshop and said he wanted to make a new gun. Because of his good knowledge of machinery, he was given a small room. In just 3 days, he designed the first AK-47. His arm wasn't fully healed, so he enlisted the help of some laborers. They all worked hard together and built the first AK-47. Now it was time for testing. A worker picked up the gun and fired at the drum. The bullet went straight through. He then fired it again and again, hitting the target accurately each time. The gun's power was proven. After this, Kalashnikov went to the army office to get the gun approved, but the guards, upon seeing him with the gun, mistook him for a terrorist and arrested him. Later, an officer fired the gun himself and was astonished. It was superior to all others. However, the rule was that the gun would only qualify if it won the annual shooting competition. The officer called a general. The general also fired the gun and was very impressed. He suggested that Kalashnikov should participate in the competition on behalf of the army. For this, he was sent to the Arms Institute in Moscow, where he was given a separate room, but his gun failed the first test and was rejected. He started home, deeply disappointed. On the way, an officer stopped him and offered him the opportunity to redesign the machine gun. Kalashnikov took it seriously and, working hard, designed a new gun. His test was also successful, but he was still not selected. He was devastated. Just then, news came that Germany had surrendered. The war was over. Everyone was happy, but Kalashnikov was sad. He felt his gun was no longer needed. He met his officer and offered to go home. The officer quietly handed him a piece of paper, stating that it was still necessary to manufacture weapons. He returned to work. He learned from his past mistakes and designed a new gun. 2 years later, the new AK-47 was ready. It was fired on the drum for the first time, and every bullet hit the target. He was overjoyed. Just then, the guards arrived. He was arrested for testing it without permission, but Kalashnikov was smiling, confident in his work. He was taken before the general. The general himself designed the gun. In a matter of seconds, Kalashnikov disassembled his gun and removed all its parts. The general was astonished. He had never seen such a simple and sturdy gun. He granted permission to participate in the competition. Now the real competition began. All the guns were first immersed in water and then rolled in sand. Most of the guns jammed. Finally, it was the AK-47's turn. It fired relentlessly, not missing a single target. Kalashnikov won, and mass production of the AK-47 began. In 1949, when he saw every soldier in a parade holding the same gun he had designed, his chest swelled with pride. Even though the AK-47 wasn't used in that war, it's used by more than half the world's countries today. It not only became the most widely used rifle, but also the cause of the most